Welcome to the US Kiss Vinyl Reference YouTube channel. Please like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. All right, welcome back to another episode of the US Kiss Vinyl Reference. I am Mike Stone, your host, and this week, if you've been following along, we did Crazy Nights last week, so that means this week is going to be Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits. So, this is going to be a short episode. I considered doing doubling up, but we'll just keep it one per episode for right now. So, don't have a whole lot to talk about, so get yourself comfortable, and I'll see you guys here in a minute, and we'll talk about Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits. All right, folks, welcome back. So you may notice that I might sound a little bit different. My microphone crapped out on me, so whatever's in my little webcam right here is what's picking up my voice. So it might sound a bit different, but it is what it is, I guess. So today we are going to talk about Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits. It is their second compilation album in the U.S., full of remixes and whatnot to kind of make some of those old songs sound current. And I'm digging up my calendar here right off the bat. So it was released in November of 1988. Currently still in print a little bit. I guess the CD sells a little bit every year. Two new songs on here. Let's Put the X in Sex, You Make Me Rock Hard. I mean, it's 80s stuff. Not a fan of those two songs. Couple of songs were remixed and had some stuff added to them. I know like Deuce has a longer fade out than the original. Calling Dr. Love has got like an extra guitar added to it. I Love It Loud has been horribly replaced with a drum machine. Love Gun. This is my favorite version of Love Gun that I've heard, with all the keyboards that augment it. I actually do dig the version of Love Gun on here. And then I couldn't really find a difference on Strutter. And of course you got your Lick It Up, Heaven's on Fire, Tears Are Falling. Oddly enough, nothing from Crazy Nights, which would have been the current album at the time, but I think that was kind of common practice actually back in those days, that in the US anyway, that they didn't include stuff from the previous album on a greatest hits release. Rock and Roll All Night does not fade out. Shout It Out Loud has a different ending. That's all I could think of off the top of my head. So there is one single that we'll talk about from Smashes. Only got one single in the U.S., so I guess without further ado, well, there is some further ado actually. So, I do these episodes each week, and I guess I could, if I got something in that week or something that I feel is worth noting, I guess I could show on air what I got that week. And, well, this week I got one of the reissues of the debut LP. So, just a fun little reissue here. The cover has a foil-ish finish to it, as you can see by Ace's shiny makeup there and Gene's shiny teeth and whatever the hell that is he's wearing. Got the foil finish on both sides. Now it came with a plain black inner sleeve that is poly-lined. And it also came, there's a hype sticker there. It also came with a reproduction of the first promo poster. And it's kind of got a gold foil look to it as well. And it's, you know, big enough just to fold once and put in your record. I know Hysteria did a full color version of this, and I think it's about the same size. And I'm not 100% on that. And, well, all my records are sitting on top of my Hysteria box, so I don't want to move them to test that theory, but I think they're the same size. So there's a poster. And let's have a look at the vinyl. So it's got a nice gold finish to it. Gold nugget is what they call the color. And it's about time they finally got a gold colored record right, because Love Gun was horrendous. So yeah, I like the little wavy look that it's got to it towards the center. Kind of gives it a look of like molten gold. And then the label also has a gold finish to it, which I kind of like that they did. So there was 2 reissues. One is this gold colored vinyl here, and the other is a picture disc reissue, which I have not gotten yet because it's being held up by the jacket that was part of the bundle that came with it. But they were ordered separately, the 2 records, so it's a matter of time before I get my other one. And that will do it for what I got in this week. So now back to the record at hand, Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits. I believe I said it was released in November already. No tracks from Crazy Nights. Yeah, no tracks from Crazy Nights. We got a vocal from Eric Carr on Beth. After all these years, I'm still not sure how I feel about that. But, you know, not too many Eric Carr vocals out there, so on Kiss songs. So we will start off with the promotional copy. So I have seen many promotional copies that do not have the hype sticker. So when I came across this one, I jumped at it because I like hype stickers on promotional copies if they came that way. So there's a couple of records from the 70s that I am pretty certain didn't get hype stickers on their promotional copies, and My copies do not have them. So, and I believe, let's see, off the top of my head, Dressed to Kill, Alive. I think that's it. Oh, the originals. Yeah. I've never seen promotional copies with hype stickers on those. So, but anyway, so not every copy I've seen of Smashes has a hype sticker on it. They all have a gold stamp on the back, and that's the important part for a promotional copy. So looking at the inner sleeve, we have all lyrics on one side, and then we have the rest of the lyrics, and then this little hand artwork on the other. There is a small 0501 right there. And it's a glossy inner sleeve, so if we're keeping track. I didn't look at none of this stuff ahead of time, so just in case there's any differences, I'm going to point out what I know. So, and then the vinyl, which I almost started bagging this stupid thing back up. So, it's a Mercury label. And if you look off to the right-hand side, it says promotional copy, not for sale. And then if you go all the way to the left at the start of the text on the bottom, you'd see before the word manufactured, there's a number 53. So there is your plant number. And that is the promotional copy for Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits. And I do know, while I'm putting this up, I do know that worldwide versions got different track listings. So I'll touch on that here in a little bit, but I do know, I think there's somewhere in the world that got something from Crazy Nights on here, but not the U.S. And another thing I want to point out before I put this back up, if you look on the back of your jacket next to the Mercury logo, there's an 0501 printed on that hand closest to the Mercury logo right there. I haven't seen any other printing plant numbers on the back of the Smashes jacket. So I'd venture a guess that all of the retail copies of the album got that on the back of the jacket. All right. Except for the picture disc. The picture disc does not have that, by the way. So, talking about retail copies. So here we have the same cover and everything, no gold stamp. That 501 is present down here on that arm closest to the Mercury logo. Inner sleeve is glossy again. And again, it also has that 0501 printed right there. Which I might have to get my finger there to get it to focus on it. There it is. And the vinyl. So there is a Mercury logo, or Mercury label, I meant. And there is no plant number on this Mercury label. That's the best way I can describe it. There's no plant number. So really, you only have two different variations that I know of with the Mercury label in the U.S., not counting anything from a record club. So you just have one, well, three. You got a promotional copy, and then there's a Plant 53 retail copy, and then a retail copy without any plant number. All right, next retail copy, speaking of. Got the same jacket. Same inner sleeve with the 0501 printed and glossy like the other two. That one's going to fight me a little bit. All right. And the vinyl. So this matches the promo copy. You see on the left-hand side before manufactured, it says 53. The only difference is it doesn't say promotional copy not for sale on the right. So there's usually a retail copy that matches a promo. There are a couple of instances where there is no match. So now, next up, we have, it's still a retail copy, but it's a little different. So now it says 15 years of history down at the bottom. And it is a gatefold with little notes and whatnot, and pictures. And the back has a catalog on it. It has one of those clear plastic inner sleeves like those polygram reissues of the earlier catalog had. And I don't want to pull it out because it's a pain in the ass to get back in. Got a different hype sticker on it. And as I teased, it is a picture disc. So there's the album cover on the front and then this picture on the back. It is the same track listing, I believe. Yeah, there's nothing on here that isn't on one of the other retails that I showed you. So unfortunately, they wouldn't continue this tradition afterwards. It took it did take a while before another picture disc got released in the U.S. And then after that, it was quite a while longer. So there is Smash's picture disc. And as I alluded to before, I have not been able to find a printing plant number anywhere on the back of the jacket here. But the 15 years of history, that's only on the picture disc jacket. So that's the easiest way to tell it if you just see a random picture of it in a lot on eBay or something like that. If it says that at the bottom of the jacket, it's a picture disc. All right, record clubs. So this one is kind of an oddball. So up here in the little box says manufactured for BMG marketing under license, blah, 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 blah. And then you look down here towards the bottom of the jacket. It says made in Canada. The inner sleeve is glossy and has a 0501 on it. But I forgot to point out earlier that where that little black bar is usually says made in USA. So that got blacked out. And the vinyl is a Mercury label. But if you look at that text on the bottom, you see it says manufactured for BMG Direct Marketing Incorporated under license, made and printed in Canada. So why is Mike showing a Canadian record on the US Kiss vinyl reference? Well, because even if you lived in the States, if you ordered a copy of Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits through BMG, this is what you got. So there is no US version on vinyl from BMG. This is what you got. So it and the next one, Hot in the Shade, are both made in Canada for the US market. So my channel here does deal with US stuff, but it's stuff that you could purchase in the US brand new, except for promotional copies because they weren't for sale. But that's mainly what my channel deals with, and I do consider that a Canadian pressing, but it was pressed for the US and Canada, the record club market. All right, next up. So I've talked and talked and talked about Kisteria, and we all know how there are titles that were exclusive and titles that were not exclusive, and this was exclusive to the set. So to buy it new, you had to buy the box set. These weren't available in stores brand new. If you did buy one in a store, somebody had stripped their box apart and the store got a hold of it. So same old cover, front and back, the track listing. Track listing's the same, so I must have had my P's and Q's crossed when I was talking about worldwide track listing earlier. Maybe other parts of the world didn't get a different track list. Inner sleeve, got the lyrics and then that same image on that side. And the vinyl is reissued on a Mercury label. At the very bottom, it says the Island Def Jam Music Group. So that's a way to distinguish it from the original. And like I said, the only way you was able to get this was to buy the Kisteria box set, get it brand new. But many people have stripped out those sets over the years and sold them off piece by piece, and you can make a profit doing that pretty easy. So that is all the US variations of the album. So now let's talk about the single. And I don't know how long we're going to spend on the single, but it's longer than I wanted to. Let's just put it that way. I'm not a fan of the song. So first off, we're going to start off with a 12-inch single, which is pretty hard to find, I might add. So we have a Polygram Rocks radio sleeve. There was no hype sticker for this. There is a silver 0501 right here on the back of mine, which it's not going to focus on because it's too light. Plain white inner sleeve. These were sent out to radio, so there's not going to be a whole lot of bells and whistles attached to it. The vinyl. So, over to the left, you see it says side 1, 33 1/3, stereo, 016. So, there's your pressing plant number. Over to the right-hand side, you see it says promotional copy, not for sale. And then, note that running time, the excessive mix. Somebody thought it was a good idea to make a 7.5-minute version of this song. I don't know who the hell thought that was a good idea, but I digress. There is a different backside to this. So you have two more remixes. You have the Hot Urban mix. You have the Sexapella mix. And then just for funsies, they put Calling Dr. Love on the back. So as far as those radio singles go, this is definitely the hardest to find. It's not the most enjoyable thing to listen to, for me anyway. Your mileage may vary. As I said in the last episode, I'm not a huge fan of hair bands and such. And yeah, I think Paul took it a little too far with this song. I don't like it. Sorry. But remixes galore. So you have the album version, you have the excessive mix, you have the Hot Urban mix, you have the Sexapella mix, and that's going to tie into this 45 that I'm about to show. Which is also a promo. The Hot Rock mix. So there's 5 versions of this song out there. So 45 promo. This ties in with that radio promo there. This is remixes also. So you have the Hot Urban mix on this side. And then you have the Hot Rock mix on this side. This 45 is also not easy to find. But if you look up in the left-hand corner, you can see it says promotional copy, not for sale. And light does pass through this one. It's brown, same as the 12-inch. Didn't think about that earlier. The promo LP light does not pass through. Came in a white sleeve. And for me personally, I could not tell the difference between the Hot Rock mix and the album version. Uh, I I tried. It's got the same running time, I believe. Yeah, 3 minutes and 48 seconds as the album version. It sounds the same to me, so I really don't know what the Hot Rock mix is. We have another 45, promo 45, I should say. And this is just the album version of it. So if you look over to the left-hand side, it says promotional copy not for sale. And then at the bottom of that text, you see a number 49. So there's your pressing plant number, I'm sorry. And it's the same label on both sides. So they're still pressing promo copies the same on each side now. Wide inner sleeve. I'm not convinced that they could come with picture sleeves, but I am willing to admit that there's a lot of them that have been shown with picture sleeves, and I'm talking about 45s in general now, not just X and Sex. But, you know, Flaming Youth, I Love It Loud, Tears Are Falling, the 3 Crazy Night singles, and X and Sex all had picture sleeves. I think some of them could have come with picture sleeves, the promo copies. I don't think they all did. So that's kind of where I stand on it, which I know has changed within the last few weeks, but I digress. So now we're on to the retail copies. And this one does have a picture sleeve, and this annoys me. It's the same as this. Be original. Flaming Youth was the Destroyer artwork. I Love It Loud was Creatures of the Night. Tears Are Falling was Asylum. Crazy Crazy Nights was the Crazy Nights album. X and Sex is the damn Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits album. So it bugs me. Sorry for the little rant there, but yeah, you got the Smashes artwork on the front and on the back, of course. And similarly, if you go to the Polygram logo there, 0501 is printed in one of the arms. And now the vinyl is a Mercury label with a barcode printed on the label. There's no plant number on here, so there's your Smashes, Thrash, or let's put the X and Sex side. And then it was backed with Calling Dr. Love. So now we have a different Mercury label that has a barcode printed on it. Notice that the promotional copy did not have the barcode printed on it because back then there was no need to scan it because it was not for sale. And surprisingly, I have ran a little bit longer than I thought I would, for better or worse. And now, the final retail copy of the 45. It has the same picture sleeve Also has the 0501 on the back. And also has a Mercury label with a printed barcode, but if you notice off to the left-hand side, underneath that big old ball of text, you'll see a number 49. So there's your Let's Put the X in Sex. And Calling Dr. Love. So that short little ditty was the Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits episode. Second of many compilation albums over the years, but we are also rapidly approaching the time period where vinyl died. So I would love to tell you that I'll have more variations to show on the next episode, but we both know that I won't have that many. So I appreciate you hanging in there. Thankfully, you didn't have to hang in too long on this one. And I will see you next time.